Well, good afternoon, everybody. So we have our first in-class activity session today. So I'll get started with kind of how these are going to go since I know this is the first. So typically what we'll do is obviously the activities will change week to week. We don't have one every week per se. Again, you can double check the schedule that you'll see on Canvas to see exactly what days the meetings are on. But this week we are focusing on Excel, using Excel to do some calculations regarding central tendency, but they won't all be on Excel. That just happens to be what this first one is on. But what we'll do in these sessions is we'll kind of work on the activity together. And if you have any questions, that's why I'm here, of course. I want your questions. I welcome all of them and I'll answer all of them. As far as the recordings are concerned, they will be, once the meeting is finished, it takes a little bit of time because I upload it to YouTube and then I put it on a page, and just the whole uploading process and downloading process takes a little bit of time. But I will have the video up typically by, well, it depends on how my internet wants to be, but definitely before the end of today. So expect to see the video for this very session right here, in class activity 1, in the corresponding module. So activity 1 video will go in the same place you find activity 1, which is in week 3's central tendency module. Now, let's see. Before we get started on the activity itself, I know we haven't met. I know we've gone through a lot of lecture materials at this point, about 3 weeks worth of it now. I wanted to open the door to anyone who maybe, if you had any questions on anything within these last few weeks content-wise, if you needed clarification on something, I want to open the door for that right now to address any questions or concerns we might have regarding the content. Do we have any questions about what we've been learning so far? Not yet? Good, good. I know stats starts off fairly simple in the sense of, oh, here's tables. This is how we organize data. Remember mean, median, and mode? Well, here it comes again. So if there's not any questions right now, that's fine. It's understandable. If there were questions, I wasn't expecting there to be a lot, considering the content that we've been covering hasn't really been too statistics intensive. But without much further ado, we're going to start that activity. So if you haven't already, be sure to access the activity 1 submission in the submission that you'll find in this week's module. You'll also see an Excel sheet as well as a Word document there. So go ahead and open up both of those, and they should look like this. I'll pull them up in a second on my end too. So this is the Word document itself. It's just titled, in the document, it's titled Activity 1, and it has a couple pairs of questions. What's the mean age of students in the class, the median age, the mean time to get ready, the median time to get ready, mean hours of sleep, median hours of sleep, mean energy level, median energy level, and lastly, the mean energy level of students under, not including the age of 21, and then the same for median, the median energy level of students under, not including the age of 21. So what we're going to do is I'll pull up the Excel sheet in a bit, but this is what you are turning in for the activity. I do not want the Excel sheet. I want this. And this goes for everyone also watching this as a recording. This goes for everybody. When you turn in your activity 1 through Canvas and I look at it and grade it, this page completed is what I want to see. You'll do all the calculations in Excel, but you'll just transfer the mean age we calculate on Excel and just write it on this page and turn this Word document into me. I don't need the Excel sheet. But We know we're pretty much calculating mean and median a lot, 10 times to be exactly. And well, 5 means 5 medians to be more specific. But we have kind of a list of little tasks that we need to do to calculate the mean and median for. So now we kind of have an idea of what we're doing. Let's take a look at how we're going to do it. Let's pull up the Excel sheet. So your Excel sheet should look something like this. I've cleaned it up from the survey tool that we use, Qualtrics. It looks a lot uglier than this. This is really, oh, let me fix that. This is really straight to the point and not a whole bunch of crap that Qualtrics tends to export for data. I wanted to kind of walk through this a little bit. I did mention, or at least if I haven't, I am going to for the first time, but I will never test you on Excel in this class. The purpose of doing Excel is not for you to, you better remember this for your exam coming up. No, that is not why I do Excel. Rather, I know a lot of us are psych students, and if you haven't already taken 144 or are not currently taking it, again, if you're a psych student, you are likely to take it, or you're going to. So with Psych 144, when you analyze your own data, you're going to be using Excel a lot there. I teach 144, so I speak from experience here. So I wanted everyone to have a little, even a basic level of familiarity with Excel, what it can do. We're not going to be going into like the deep dive of Excel, really basic stuff, just kind of getting your feet wet. Hopefully, if some of us have a little nervousness in regards to Excel, or like, oh, I struggle with it, I hate using Excel, I don't get it, it's intimidating, I've heard it all, but I want to kind of try and take away some of that by just doing these really low stakes. Hey, let's just calculate mean and median. Hey, let's just work with Excel to get used to it. And again, I'm not going to test you on it. This is more so for you moving forward in your classes, or even jobs or budgeting, however you want to use Excel, it can be used for you. Of course, I know that not everyone in this class is a psych major. However, Excel is pretty, I don't want to say universal, but it is widely used across a lot of different disciplines. So I think for everyone to have at least this basic level of Excel knowledge is helpful. It's beneficial. Worst case scenario, you can even put it on your resume or your CV of software skills that you have. You know Excel. But I digress. Let's get into this. So first off, we want to look at what it is we have here. So obviously we have 5 different columns, one that says participant, age, get ready. This is, if you remember the survey, this is how many minutes it takes you to get ready for class. The number of hours of sleep you get each night, and your current energy level. This was on a 1 to 5 scale, with 1 being far below average. And then as it increases, the energy levels get higher. So 2 would be slightly below average, 3 is average, 4 is slightly above average, and then 5 would be highly above average. So we have the basic structure of, or not the structure, but we have the scaling of the energy level. And I'm just going to write down there 1 to 5, just so we know this can only be as low as 1 and as high as 5. That all the values in this column. So each row here is a different, I put participant because again, I teach research methods, so I'm really used to just filing participant there. But I mean, these are students in the class. So if you want to change that to student, I'm not going to be offended. But these are there were 17 students, 17 students that responded. So we have 17 students data here. So each row represents 1 person and their responses to these questions. Okay, so we know this is the data that we're going to be working with. This is what we have. So if you haven't already, make sure you pull up Excel, because again, I'm going to be showing us how to do this. And I want you guys to do it on your Excel sheets as well. That way you actually get the experience of it, because we will be building on our Excel knowledge in the class. We're not only going to be doing mean and median from here on out. This is just our starting point. All righty. So each box in Excel is called a cell. And you'll see the columns up here, A through E. Well, actually, it keeps going, but as far as what we're using, A through E. And then the numbers are referring to the row. So if I were to click right here on this number 10, that is cell D, it's column D, and row 7. So it's just cell D7. So I might be referring to certain locations on Excel by their cell number. So, oh, check out E4. Look at this 30 minutes to get ready in C16, things like that. But one thing that I find incredibly useful in doing with Excel, and I would encourage all of us to do this as well, is that if you were to, let's say, maybe you start this and you need to come back to it. Maybe your phone rings and you have an important call to make. Maybe you just need a break because you're falling asleep. Excel can do that sometimes. Or I don't know, maybe you just don't finish it in one sitting and you need to come back to it. Well, maybe you're halfway through and you're calculating the means and medians that we're doing today, and you're just kind of putting them all over the place. You come back to it and you have all these calculations just riddled all over your Excel sheet, and you're just like, what the hell was I doing? What fever dream did I wake up from to where this is what resulted? Like, what is going on here? So the first tip I'm going to give you in Excel is organize what you want. So what I mean by that is what we want. I'm going to go back to the in-class activity, the part you're actually going to turn in. But what do we want here? So we want the mean and the median for a lot of different things. Mean and median of age, mean and median of time to get ready, hours of sleep, energy level, and energy levels of those under 21 years old. Okay, so I'm going back to the Excel sheet now, and I'm going to organize my data in a way that I will have all the information I need readily available and easily readable. That's a word. So I'm just doing mean and median there. And then I know that we're going to find the mean and median age, the mean and median time it takes to get ready, mean and median hours of sleep, mean and median energy level, and then energy under 21. Of the 5 questions that are on our activity, these are what we're doing. So we're finding the mean and median pairs for each of these different variables. Okay, so now when we have it organized in this little table, coming back to it, it doesn't matter how long it takes for us to come back to it. We can come back to it and we'll see the numbers in there. We'll be able to easily read our data and not have any problems understanding what's going on. I'm not really a color coding person. I don't tend to color code my Excel sheets. I kind of tend to just keep them plain, and my organizing is more through this. But I know a lot of students and just a lot of people in general that they thrive by color coding. So if that helps you, go for it. I can't tell you how best to color code your data, because whatever works for you is what works for you. But you know, anything that works, anything that helps you kind of get a grip of what you're looking at, I encourage that. Before we get started, there's a second, actually, this is probably it's also important, not the most important, but up there with organization. I know a lot of students have some anxiety with Excel because they're worried they're going to ruin it. Like I said, I teach 144, and when it comes to analyzing data, you know, students are looking at Excel sheets and they have all the data they collected from their projects, from their research projects. And they're just looking at all this data and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And I'm afraid to do anything because I feel like I'm going to like screw up my data, or I'm going to ruin whatever this precarious position of Excel is in right now. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're going to make mistakes. You are going to accidentally delete massive chunks of data or just blindly do stupid stuff. I say you'll do that because I have done that more times than I'm Actually, no, I am willing to admit it. So I can't say more times than I'm willing to admit. I've done it a lot, a lot. But one important thing that I want you guys to keep in mind with Excel is that no matter how bad, no matter what weird thing happened, you can always get your data back. You can always kind of erase your mistake by the undo button. I have a laptop, I have a PC, so it's Control Z on computers. I'm not sure what the Mac command is. It might be Command Z. I forget what the buttons are called. I'm not very proficient with Macs. You'll know that the more I teach. But you just have the undo button. It also is this little guy right here. I'm not going to undo the column width because that's what made this not overlap. But let's say I'm looking at my data and somehow I'm just like, oh my God, I completely erased a column. I completely deleted a column of data. And oh my God, oh no, oh, everything's all topsy-turvy. Oh no, oh, what am I doing? Everything's all screwed up. Ah, thank you. Command Z, see? Thank you guys, I appreciate it. But I'm just, we can look at this and be like, this is not what the data looks like. I totally screwed it up. Oh my God, I'm going to fail, or I'm totally screwed. I messed everything up. And I understand that anxiety spiral that a lot of us, myself included, will go down. However, when it comes to Excel, we can undo this issue. You'll see that most of my data is gone. I don't know where these decimals came from, but they're here now. But again, Control/Command Z. Okay, now the decimals are gone. Okay, oh, now my age is back. And one more time, now I have all my data is back. So all of this is to say that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to my eyes tend to kind of get crossed when I look at Excel for too long. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, whoop, come on, like, look alive. But if you do kind of find yourself making mistakes, or again, deleting chunks of data or something, just remember that the undo button will undo your mistake. So there we go. All righty. Now, before we get started, I know I've been kind of going fairly quickly, but does anyone have any questions so far before we officially start the activity? I know I've been kind of talking about Excel for a bit, but again, it's important. Any questions or anything so far? All righty. Well, now let's start the actual activity. So the thing with Excel is that it can do a lot of things. It can do what you want it to. You just need to tell it what it is you want to do. So I kind of think of doing calculations in Excel as kind of using Siri on your phone or something like that, to where in order to get Siri to listen, you have to, I think they've updated it to where now you don't have to say, hey, Siri, but just Siri or whatever. But when you say, hey, Siri, the phone will be like, hello, what do you want? And it's kind of creepy. I don't have Siri on my phone, but that's another point entirely. But, you say, hey, Siri, and the phone starts listening, and then you give it a command, and then it, I don't know what the weather in Bangladesh is. That wasn't even my question, Siri. But, you give it a command. Well, think of when you're trying to have Excel calculate things for you, when you're trying to make Excel do things like, let's say, calculate the mean of age, like we're going to do right now. You need to have your hey, Siri, the thing that gets Excel's attention. That is the equal sign. You type that equal sign in, and Excel's like waiting on bated breath saying, all right, what do you need? And it's up to us to know what to tell Excel to do for us. So we're going to start again. We're finding the mean of age. So we're going to find mean. Now, the function, all of these different things that Excel can do following an equal sign, following that, hey, Excel is called a function. And the one to use for when we're finding the mean is called average. So I'm going to start typing in average, and you'll see a lot of them pop up. That one that's just straight average is the one we want. When it's there, I press tab, You can also double click it. You can also write it out in its entirety. Ooh. Can everyone see the Excel sheet? Is it on, like, you can't see my Excel sheet, or you can? Oh, okay. Ooh, got me nervous for a second. I'm glad it's fixed. Thank goodness. I was worried it was a Zoom problem. I have no problem blaming Zoom for my issues, but I prefer not to if we don't have to. All righty. So equals average is what we're going to use to find the mean. Pretty simple. Now you'll know that Excel is ready to calculate when you see these instructions pop up. It's like, okay, Excel's kind of telling us, all right, you want me to calculate average? I can do that for you, but here's what I need from you. I need you to give me numbers. So they'll have like number 1, comma, number 2, and then just kind of as an example to tell you, this is what I need. I need numbers. So let's give it numbers. Since we're in the mean age cell here, let's select the numbers that pertain to age. So I'm going over here, excuse me, I'm going over here to the very first age, 20, and I'm clicking and I'm just dragging down. Just the ages, I don't need anything else. You notice here that the bar, it's also up here as well. But you'll notice that it says B2 colon B18. That's just saying from cell location B2 all the way down to B18, this entire list of numbers, that's what you want me to calculate the average for. And yes, Excel, that is what I want you to calculate the average for. Thank you. So we have what we need, hit enter, boom, we have our average age. Now, I will say that when you put this into the Word document, you know, the part you'll actually turn in, I will want these numbers rounded to 2 decimal places. So instead of 20.70588, I'll want 20.71. There's a quick way to do that in Excel. I click the Home tab at the top and then just click, oh, wrong way. Click on these a couple times until you get to 2 decimal places and it gets you right there. Again, that's just going to home, and in this little decrease decimal or increase decimal, that's where you can kind of manipulate that. Okay, well, that was easy. That was quick and painless. So now let's do median. Now, again, I'm like, hey, Excel, by typing my equal sign. Now Excel's like, what do you need from me, Captain? I don't know why Excel's calling me Captain. Anyway, so the function to find median is pretty simple. It's median. Thank goodness. I love it when Excel makes sense. So for median, it's asking for the same thing. We need numbers here. I need numbers. Give me numbers. So again, we're doing the median for age. So we're going to select all the numbers for age. There we go. Simple as that. Does anyone need me to show any of these again? Explain it? Am I going too fast? Let me know. What do you need?
Could you show the mean for energy level? Because I'm getting something weird.
Ooh, for energy level?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, please.
Of course. So average for energy level 4 through the sky. 2.94. What's going on your end?
It's like pasting the same list, but I think I might have typed it in wrong because the rest are fine. Let me try it again.
Okay. Again, just equals AVER tab.
Okay, got it to work. 2.94.
2.94. Yep.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All righty. So for getting ready, hours of sleep, and energy level, for these first 4, we're going to use the same concept, same functions, just equals, average, and then get ready. Oh, so we have, I inputted that incorrectly. So we have an average of 45 minutes to get ready. We have median for getting ready is, all right, same data set. For, the mean and median are the same for the time it takes to get ready. Ooh, someone buy a lottery ticket. But it's these hours of sleep, the mean and median, those calculations are gonna all be done the same way we did the first one, the age calculation. We're just moving over a column to get the right data. So now we have 6.9 for the mean hours of sleep each night. And now to get the median, we have 7. Oh, so close, so close. Oh, and then median for energy level. Okay, 3. So those are all done the same. Nothing too wild, just the data's already there, ready for us, ready to go. One thing too, if you want to double check, which I always do with Excel and I like to do with Excel, because like I said, my eyes kind of start getting cross and I'm just like blurring my numbers and stuff just because, I mean, look at Excel. It's just lines and squares and boxes and numbers. Oh my, it gets kind of monotonous to look at. So one thing I like to do though is to check my work to make sure that I have the right numbers where they're supposed to be. I'll click on the cell that has a calculation and I'll double click it and then it'll show you up here. All right, this is what function you're doing. And then it highlights the numbers that are included in blue. And then it tells you exactly. So you can look at it and see, yep, those are all the numbers for getting ready. I did that correctly. Let's make sure I got all the data right for hours of sleep. Yep, didn't include any extras, didn't miss any data. Perfect. Energy level, perfect. So as you're doing this, I also encourage not only to organize the data like I have here or something that works for you, not only to remember the Command or Control Z option for if you screw up, because again, I do it all the time. It happens. We're human. We're not perfect. I also, again, with that, also having your double check, you manually double checking it just by clicking the boxes. Those 3 things are really helpful to navigate Excel, to just kind of have a basic, this is how I should go about Excel as I use it, no matter what I use it for. Okay, so the last set of questions. So, and if you want to check your work with the calculations I have, that's totally fine. Mean and median for age is 20.71 and 20. Getting ready, 45 and 45 for mean and median. Hours of sleep, average 6.9, median 7. Energy level 2.94 when rounded, and the median of 3. So if you have all those same numbers, perfect. You're doing it right. You're doing it right on the money. I am recording and I will be reposting the Zoom like I mentioned at the beginning of the lecture. But yeah, I will. It takes a little bit of time to upload just because I got to download it and upload it. It's a process, but it will be on Canvas in the same spot you found in the same module that you found in class activity 1, you know, what we're working on here. You'll find that you'll find the video right underneath it. Okie dokie. So now the question is, what's the mean and median energy level of people under the age of 21? So we want to find, let's see, we have an 18-year-old, we have some 20-year-olds here, several 20-year-olds actually. 20, 19, 20. So we have a lot of people that are under, not including the age of 21. So pretty much anyone 20 and down, 20 and younger is the energy levels that we're looking for. So instead of doing something monotonous and eye bleedy, like doing, oh, we're looking for energy level, so that person, that person, that person, that person. Instead of doing like that and picking and just chicken pecking at it, what I like to do is to sort the data to where everyone that is under the age of 21 will all be together. So we're actually going to sort the data by age to where everyone is, you can either have it largest to smallest, the top person is the oldest, or vice versa, the person at the top is the youngest, And as you go down the list, it gets older and older. I don't mind. I usually just go with whatever Excel has the default be. I'm not particular. But to sort the data, first what we'll need to do is select all of the data. I cannot stress this enough. You must select all of the data before you sort. If you don't, then when we reorganize the data, when we move stuff, or when we move each participant around to organize them by their age, if we don't select all of the data, it won't stay with that person. So for example, participant 1 is 20 years old, takes 5 minutes to get ready, gets 7 hours of sleep a night, and has an energy level of 4, which is slightly above average. Pretty good. So that is one person's responses, and then each person has their own responses. If we don't sort the data correctly, all this information gets mixed up to where now if we sort it by age, suddenly, let's see, 18 is the youngest. So if we only sort by age, only the age column will change, but everything else will stay the same. So this 20-year-old, 5 minutes to get ready, 7 hours of sleep, and a slightly above average energy level, suddenly they turn into 18 years old because only the age column was moved up, was organized. We do not want that. We want everyone to stay with their responses, organizing the data, etc. So to sort the data by age to where it goes from, I'm going to do youngest to oldest, just because I tend to do that. So in order to sort our data, so all our ages are in an easy, not chicken pecking motion, but just everyone's organized properly. I'm going to go up here to the tab where it says data. And in this data tab, once my data is completely selected, of course, make sure you do that before you start clicking around on the data tab. Once I get up here, now I'm going to go to this big old sort button just about in the middle. So I'm going to click that. Now Excel's like, all right, you want to sort? How do you want to sort it by? What's the criteria you're asking for here? So I know that I want my ages to go from biggest to smallest, or smallest to biggest. It doesn't matter, either way works. But I am sorting by age. So, oh hey, there we go. And yeah, you can switch it from largest to smallest, whatever is your preference. It doesn't matter. So yeah, just do that. Keep in mind this box here that's checked that says my data has headers. I also selected the title, like participant, age, get ready, hours of sleep, and energy level. I selected those when I selected my data because if I don't, it still works, but instead of, oh, my data has headers and I can click on, oh, my age, I want to sort by age, so I'm sorting by age in this drop-down list. If I uncheck this box, suddenly it becomes column A, column B, column C. And then you got to go back and be like, oh God, what column is age in? And it just makes it unneeding, like completely unnecessarily tedious. So select your headers, the titles of each of your columns, make sure this box is checked, and it makes it a lot simpler. So we have our sort ready. This is what we want it to look like. Our data has headers. We're sorting by age. The cell values, yeah, we're not going to mess around with that. We don't need to. I like to do smallest to largest, so I'm going to do that. So let's keep in mind that participant 1 is, their numbers are 2574, 2574. When we sort by data, let's find our participant 1. Oh, here they are, 2574. So their data stays with them. And if it stays for one person, Excel's not going to do, Excel's not going to make exceptions. It's a computer program. It doesn't do that. So we know that all of our responses, all of our participants haven't been all mixed up and jumbled. They're staying with their data. So excellent. But now we look at it and we see, oh, age 18, 19, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 21, 21, 21, 22, 25, 25. So instead of, originally it was technically sorted by participant number, where the participant numbers went from 1 to 17. It was in numerical order. Now we have that going on for age. We have it from youngest to oldest. Okay. So now we can go on and calculate our energy levels, our mean and median energy levels for those under, not including the age of 21. Perfect. Does anyone have any questions? Want me to go back, show you guys how to sort again? Let me know while I take a beverage break. We doing good so far? We can do the next part. I'm going to take that as a yes. So let's do it. So now we've organized the data. We've sorted the data by age, youngest to oldest. Now, again, the question is asking for the mean and median energy levels of people under 21. So we're not finding the mean and median of the column we sorted. That's not what the question is asking. I didn't ask for the average age of people under 21. I asked for the average energy levels of people under 21. So same thing as before, equals average. But now that we have everything all lined up, I'm going to stick to the energy level column here and just click and drag until I hit that last person who's under 21. So it's going to be in cell E12 is our last person here. Again, and I sorted from smallest to largest. If you sorted from largest to smallest, it might be a different cell location, but it's still just all the energy levels that are corresponding with people under, not including the age of 21. That's what we're finding here. So hit tab, excuse me, hit tab. All right, energy is 3.1. Well, excuse me, no, that's not rounded there. 3.09 is our average energy level for those under, not including the age of 19. All right, let's find the median. So again, going to that same area, energy level, median, and it's 3. One reason why I also like to put the energy level 1 to 5 there is that as you're doing this, and let's say you make a mistake and accidentally do find the mean of the age under 21. Let's say, oh, we sorted the age column. Now I'm going to find the average of those under the age of 21, which would be a mistake again, because that's not what the question is asking. But you're going to get here. Let's just kind of see what that is. You're going to get 19.73. Considering that we're looking for the mean energy level, and that can only be as high as 5, based on how we calculate median, or excuse me, based on how we calculate mean, based on how we find this value in the first place, how we calculate this central tendency, it makes no sense for us to have an average of numbers, averaged out to get 19.73 when the scale itself doesn't go even over 10. So that's kind of another reason why I like to have the list or the scaling there, just as kind of, does this data make sense? Maybe I calculated the average correctly, but I don't think I used the right numbers, because this only goes up to 5 and I got an average of 19. What happened here? Where did I go wrong? So again, make sure that you're calculating the mean and median for the energy levels after you sort, not the column that you sorted for age. Sorting the data just made it easier for us to get it all in one place. You'll notice that I can just click and drag all the people that were under 21, as opposed to doing single clicks and possibly missing it, or clicking the wrong one, and it's just a bigger pain in the butt. So the sorting was just for simplicity's sake, to make it easier to read and faster to calculate too, because we only have 17 people here. But imagine going through a list of 200 or even 1,000 and doing it one by one, making sure that they're under the age of 21. That would be so tedious and completely unnecessary, especially with that sort function. All righty. Well, do we have any questions? Anything you guys want me to repeat, go over? We have time. I wasn't anticipating our activity to take too long today. Since it's pretty straightforward, pretty basic stuff we're doing. But I want to open the floor to, of course, Paula, go ahead.
I just had a question regarding the hours of sleep and the energy levels. Oh, actually, and both energy levels. Did you want us to round those up or leave them as is?
Leave them. So with 7, you don't have to worry about that. Just leave that. Leave this at 6.9. And you can put 6.90, that's fine, but don't round up to nearest whole numbers. Round to just, I mean, well, technically, that's 6.90. You don't have to put 7.00 though, but I do want to see 2 decimal places for things like this number here. So like energy level, like you were asking, ooh, I always go the wrong direction. We're actually wanting it to be 2.94. My goodness. And then for the energy under, same thing. So I want all the numbers, when applicable, when you can, rounded to 2 decimal places. But you can just write the whole numbers as, 3. You don't have to put 3.00. That would be kind of ridiculous.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, do we have any other questions? All righty. Well, that will conclude our activity today. So again, make sure when you turn in your, when you submit your in-class activity, make sure that you are submitting the Word document that asks the questions. Just write in your responses, write in your calculations that we found on Excel. Do not turn in the Excel sheet. I don't want it. It's easier for me to read it when it's just the document, faster for me to grade as well. So just give me the document and that's all I need. Let's see. We will have our next meeting a week from today, so that will be September 15th. We will be talking about variability. So I will be posting the videos for next week, like the lecture, any assignments, the lecture video next week as per usual. And we will have our activity next Friday, same time, same place. So if that is all you guys have for me, that is all I have for you. Like I said, I will upload this onto Canvas once it gets the upload process done. So it takes a little bit of time, but it'll be up by the end of today. As far as the preference of document type, I don't really mind as far as which one you want to use. I have Canvas set up though, since I don't have a Mac. I know in the past I've had issues of students who had a Mac like submitting their assignments through Pages or something, and I can't open those. So I've kind of just set up Canvas to have it to where you can only turn in like documents, like, a Word doc file or PDFs. As far as which one you choose, I'm not particular, whatever one's easiest for you. But as long as it's a document or a PDF, that works for me. All right. Well, like I said, this video will be up in however long it takes my internet to get this show on the road. But it's been wonderful having our first activity, you all. If you haven't already, be sure to stop by my office hour to fill out to complete your office consultation assignment. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy your weekends.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Professor, sorry. My class ended a little later than I intended it to. So I just got here for like 5 minutes for the last 5 minutes. So I don't know
am I still supposed to turn in the assignment, the class assignment?
Yeah, so everyone is going to turn in the class assignment because there are students who aren't able to make it because I know that the meeting does like interfere with class times or working times or anything. But what I do to combat that, because I know that not everyone can make it, is that I do record these meetings and then I post it onto Canvas once it's like, you know, ready to be posted. So what you can do is you can, again, I'm going to have that posted up on Canvas by the end of the day. So just check that out. And then you can follow along in the video in terms of what we covered, what we did. And you, just like everyone else here or the people who weren't able to make it, you will still be turning in that activity. It'll be due Monday, September 11th. So Monday at 11:59.
Oh, okay. Perfect then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Bye.
I actually had the same question because I joined late as well.
Mhm.
And
Same rules apply. I'll have the video uploaded and then you can follow along in the video and just make sure you turn it in before 11:59 on September 11th on Monday and you're set.
righty, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.
You as well.